My rhubarb is doing really well. Already been harvesting rhubarb. And it's time for some more. Here's my gazebo. There's a bunch of sunflowers. I have cosmos, zinnias coming. This is a cilantro that grew really nicely. And my lilies are amazing this year. Scarlet runner bean. Dahlias up in front here. Hopefully they'll start blooming soon. More runner beans, nasturtium, cosmos, more sunflowers, dahlias. These are stalks, evening scented stalks, and they smell lovely. In the corner I have sweet peas, more zinnias, more sunflowers. Back over to the rhubarb and see over. I have a sunflower already blooming in my corn there. I left one on the end. It was just a volunteer. My lovage, earlier in the spring, I said you're supposed to cut it back a bunch of times. I ran out of time and I never got to it. And so this is what it looks like as a mature plant. It's tall. I'm gonna hopefully still cut it back. And we can still use the leaves. You can still cut this. They're still tender enough that they're still tasty in soup and still wonderful. So I'll still utilize it, but it would have been nicer if I had done it when it was younger and more tender. But anyways, this is a lovage plant. It's a perennial herb and it's fantastic in soup and everything. So I'll show you the greenhouse later. I have a little bit of cilantro growing, some ground cherries beside. Ground cherries are beside the greenhouse here. The cilantro. My potatoes. So far, we haven't been eating potatoes, but they're coming along. They're blooming. They've been hilled once. I don't think we can get into hill again, but if we see anything that needs covering up, we will. The wind and the rain came yesterday, and so this doesn't look quite as good as it did yesterday. But the plants are doing really well. There'll still be potatoes. It just isn't as perky as it looked in the sunshine before the wind. Here's my volunteer sunflower here. My corn is taller than me. I'm here, 5'8", and this is just the middle of July here in Alberta right now. So my corn is huge. There's already tassels and cobs forming. It's doing really well. This one's a Colorado, and I have Bodacious and I have Trinity, so I have a bunch of different varieties of corn. I have been very busy and I haven't been out weeding my garden. This isn't as beautiful as it sometimes is, but it's also not as bad as sometimes it is too. But anyways, so I have carrots, beets, my peas are doing well. They're starting to produce. This is my son's bean row that we saw that short video of earlier. So it's doing really, really well. It's kind of filled in between the two pea rows. I have lettuces. My spinach has already gone to seed. My radishes are going to seed. I never got them all collected. I have a few different varieties of peas. These ones are very, very tall. These ones are almost as tall as me. These ones are shorter. Those ones are more bushy at the end. And then on the far side over there, those are a shorter variety. Some of these are edible pods, and others are just the edible pea. So I have some volunteer dills that I let go here. There's some dahlias on the end, volunteer sunflower, And yeah, lots and lots of potatoes. We really like the potato harvest here. We always like to have lots of fresh baby potatoes to eat in the summer, and also we eat potatoes all winter. We still have some of last year's potatoes still good in the cold room on the farm here. So everything's looking really, really good. I'm just worried that it's supposed to be a bunch of rain here today, so I thought I would come and take a picture before everything possibly would lay down, even though it's already started with the wind. But this is my garden. It looks great. I'll show you some of the garlic. Oh, and here's a tomato. These are my haskap bushes. They did really well this year. There was lots of berries, and then the birds came and ate them all for us. So we had a few snacks, but not very many. There's a beautiful lily that's growing beside the haskap. My asparagus is big and bushy right now, so I should get really good root strengthening. My garlic I need to weed, but I put eggshells in. My friend that I got my purple garlics from, she told me that she mixes eggshells in with the soil in the fall, so I just added some, and it'll mix as things get worked and weeded and stuff. But that would help with cutworms. But my garlics are already blooming, and they're starting, she says, when they point straight up, then it's time to harvest. So they're getting pretty close, but right now they're still blooming and pointing down. Those are the mature ones. These little guys are the baby seeds, and then the other ones were the bigger yearling bulb, and now it'll have a big clove, and then it's making the baby seeds. So those are the garlics. Here's my garden from this angle. I have lots of weeding to do, but here's some zucchini, dahlias, dill, and some winter squashes. I'm probably going to put some rubber mats underneath these before they spread too much, and then the weeds stay down and the squashes stay nice. This kind of potato is called Carib. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how it's spelled. And then my peas and corn. I have a rose bush here on the side of the lawn. It's doing really good. It was in full bloom a little while ago. Now it's a little bit quiet. Choke cherries, Swedish aspens. This here is a snowball plant. I don't know what its exact name is, but it's starting to bloom. It's doing really well. It likes being in these wood chips here, it seems. And it's against the edge of the lawn. So it's doing good. You can see the wind has been kind of causing a little bit of problem here. Look at this, the dahlia busted off last night. So that's a big loss for a plant there. But I have lots of dahlias on the side of the greenhouse. None of them are blooming yet, but so far there's a little bit of a bud coming. And I just got a gift from my husband. Isn't that beautiful? One of my roses. This is my greenhouse right now. It's doing quite well. There's some sweet peas growing, ground cherry, volunteer petunias. My lettuce did good. I have one eggplant growing here. This tomato was a volunteer, but I'm leaving it, letting it do its thing. Zinnias, petunias, lavatera. I forget, is this called lobelia? I forget what that one is. I have a poppy growing here. And here are my Babylon cucumbers. We've been eating some already. And they're kind of a long English kind of one, but smaller. Kind of like the baby ones, or you can let them get bigger, and they're fabulous. Some more ground cherries I planted here. I forget what this is. It's not one I always have very often, but it's really pretty. Another a volunteer sweet pea. I think these are, I don't know, I see a tag. It says phlox, maybe. I think this is a weed. And I think this is a weed. And then there's a lettuce growing. And this, along the clover that's volunteering, is a, I think it was a yam or a sweet potato, but I think it was a yam that was sprouting. And we took the sprouts and planted it in the greenhouse here, and it's really pretty. I have a sunflower. It's going to be a little bit big. I'm going to have to keep it trimmed, but I left it because my morning glory can climb up on it. So there's morning glory in the corner, some ground cherries, lettuce, dill. I have some honeydew, dill, ground cherries, and these were self-seeded poppies, and they are kind of over mature. They haven't been getting as much water maybe as they wanted, but they've been blooming for a long time already, and they are absolutely beautiful. And I think there's some snapdragons hiding in there. So yeah, have a lot of weeding to do, but I have also a lot of amazing plants. Considering my lack of time or effort put into this year, it is doing really well. So a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of weeding, and we will still be good to go for my beautiful garden.